it's just about consistency, and you have to give it whatever it takes. You can't manage your professional career, your social life, and GMAT all together. I feel like it's very important to take it one thing at a time. Like, I just didn't like the plan B. I just knew that plan A is the plan for me.
First of all, congratulations on the 675. I've got a quant 94th percentile, verbal impressive 96th percentile. Data insight just took a little hit, 73rd percentile. Overall, 675. How do you feel about the score, Akshita?
I feel great, honestly. Like, it's been a long journey. The minute I got that score, I just felt so relieved, honestly. It was a great feeling.
Right. So, could we just take a moment or time back, a flashback, I could say, from where you started? You were a University, graduate. So
Mhm.
from Christ to consulting at BCG, and then from there to pursuing MBA, how did that all transpire? Could you just give us a little background?
Sure. Yeah, I did my economics honors from Christ, and Christ was a fairly, like, my course was fairly research intensive. I always had a little bit of interest in market research and data analysis. But I got placed at JP Morgan earlier, and it was a very finance centric field. And I always knew that I wanted to enter consulting and market research. So I, took a switch from there, gave all the interviews, and by God's grace, got into BCG. Yeah, and then I also had a venture on the side. It was a startup where we used to help college students prepare for interviews. And we had faced this struggle when we were in the placement season, that we didn't know a lot of job roles and what they constituted of, and how my life would look when I'm in the job. So we started that off, and while we were doing that, all three of us, we realized that um, we are missing something here. Like, we're not able to properly gauge how to, like, create a revenue stream out of this, or maybe create a proper business plan out of this. So that's when I realized that I wanted to go for an MBA to get more exposure, to gain more network, and it's been a lifelong dream to anyway start something of my own.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, that's where I decided, back in 2022, I think I decided that I want to start with my MBA prep. And yeah, so initially I looked at cat, and I also, like, tried to do that with my job. But very soon into the process, I realized that maybe, like, that's not something that I want to do, and I started looking at ISB as an option, and other colleges where you could get in through GMAT. And that seemed to be a more enticing offer when it comes to networking, and just the journey that I want to see for myself in the future. So yeah, that's where I started my journey, and I started prepping for GMAT. And I talked to a lot of people who were already in the process, and they all recommended top one. So that's when I enrolled with top one. I think last year in June, July, I enrolled with top 1%.
Right. So it's extremely important to pin the goal, right? If
Right.
you at the moment last when you started off, you saw ISB, but now I'm sure the goals are bigger as well. Unless you want to have a startup in India, and then ISB is
Mm,
a great place because then you get the maximum network capabilities. But
right.
however, you know the possibilities now, I'm sure more than ever because you have a lot of network at BCG as well.
Mm.
How an international MBA can also place well. So, did something change in this? Now that you have the score, it's easier for me to just say that. Do you still
Mm.
have ISB as the goal, or do you have more options as well?
I mean, I definitely, I've also been speaking to Autry, and he's helping me with the whole process. And, of course, like, after I got my, like, initially, I wasn't sure how much I'd be able to score, given that I had to manage my work side by side. And, taking study leaves is not really a big option here. So, yeah, I wasn't really sure how much I'm going to score. And, once I knew that I've been prepping properly, and, once I started getting the score and mocks, that's when, I started thinking that maybe I can, like, dream a little bigger. And I remember that initially my plan was that even if I'm, like, able to hit a 645, I'm good. Like, I'm gonna be like fine with it. And then like in mocks I started getting 715, 725, and that's when I thought that maybe like I'm dreaming smaller and I need to like change my goals. So yeah, that's when it like just hit me that maybe like I can look at more options, and I started researching a little bit, and I shortlisted a few more colleges. So yeah, now dreams are bigger. And definitely I'm applying to colleges abroad as well. So yeah.
Diving into your GMAT preparation, you did
Hmm.
mention it has been a long time since you prepared. So, what were the challenges that you've had faced? What are the hurdles that you had, and how did you overcome? What are the strategies that you employed? I would like to use the word strategies because I'm sure you've been doing that since your college, and I
Yeah.
would really like to see what are your personal strategies that you've employed here along with Sandeep sir's plan.
Yeah. So I think initially when I started off, that was last year, as I mentioned, and for with GMAT specifically, and you know, I think the issue initially was to just have that kind of mindset where, and I remember watching a couple of videos that Sandeep Sir had shared in his PDFs as well, where he's just introducing how he works with students and what kind of expectations he has when someone enrolls with him. And he
Right.
said that he wants like 100% dedication and consistency. And I think it was a struggle there to like shift from a life where I was working from 9 to 8 or 9 in the evening, and then taking some me time, and over the weekend also it's mostly relaxing. So going from that to like waking up early, studying in the morning, studying at night, studying on the weekends, saying no to plans was a big struggle for me initially. I knew the kind of study that I did this time compared to what I did last time, and I was just thinking that I wasn't in my right headspace when I thought that I was prepared back then. And yeah, I got down to it. I knew that this time I have to be like, I knew that I'm going to follow each and every step that Sandeep sir recommended. Like, I'm not going to lose out on anything. So I'm going to give it my all and then see what happens. So yeah, I just made sure that I'm giving 3 to 4 hours every day, and I'm doing a lot of mocks, and even the DI plan that he had shared. I felt like the DI material on our portal is so good, and it helped me improve my and even though I know that it's not the best score that I've gotten in the exam, but this is still way better than what I was getting initially. I did all the things that were there on our portal, and that is what Sandeep sir had recommended as well. Even though it was a lot to do, but I tried to cover it all, and even do it twice. He said that you should do it twice, and I tried to do that. Like, I tried to do all the mock exams again. So yeah, I think and I've been recommending top one to all my friends anyway, because I feel like the verbal strategy also that Sandeep sir teaches is incomparable. Like, I've not seen anyone else teach verbal the way he does. Like, it's imbibed in my brain as to, if I get a RC question, I have to write, the opinion, tone, and contradictory word. And if I'm looking at a CR question, instantly I know the strategy that I need to apply. And I see a lot of other people struggling with that, who are prepping from other coaching institutes. So yeah, I mean, I'm a big, like, I really want to thank Sandeep sir for that. And like, just even our point of contact Priyansha was very helpful throughout the journey. Like, anytime I had any doubt related to the portal or any question, or I wanted to connect with any any faculty, like, she would just like reply within seconds. So yeah, that was a very good experience overall.
Yeah, this is, I think, ideally you could say resourcefulness at play.
Yeah.
Like you
Hmm.
actually mentioned all the resources, the materials, and
Hmm.
that you found indispensable, and all the unconventional methods and tools that really prove to be effective, right?
Yeah.
Now, going back to this dual role that you have, you're preparing for GMAT, you're also a consultant at the end of the day,
Hmm.
and they are going to be demanding. So how did you balance both?
So I really struggled initially when I started off in Feb as well. It used to be, I used to get so tired by the end of the day, and my brain wasn't working to its full capacity. So what I tried doing initially was study after I'm done with work, but that just didn't help a lot. Then I started waking up early. Even that got slightly tiring. I just planned it in such a way that I tried to get a few leaves here and there, and just try to balance both the things. And my manager thankfully was understanding, and by the end of it, when I knew that now I need a couple of days off so that I can, like, now I'm done with my preparation phase, and now it's just about giving mocks every day and just being in that zone full on where I'm not thinking about work and I'm just thinking about GMAT. So yeah, like, thankfully I got a couple of days off before my attempt, and I decided, that this is the date that I wanted to give it on. And I took a few days off, and I decided that I'm not going to think about anything. It's just going to be GMAT day in day out. And I just kept giving mocks every day, like I'm giving sectional exams every day. And I'm just even though I'm not studying for the whole day, like it's not like I'm taking 13 hours for studying, but even if I'm studying for 6 hours, I know that, like, I'm not stressed about anything else but GMAT. So that really helped, like just zoning off from work helped. But yeah, initially it was a big struggle to even do the prep phase while I'm working. And it does take a lot of effort, and it does take a lot of consistency to stay up to date with what's happening and not lose out on the information, like not do double work and not do rework when it comes to GMAT. Because I feel like what happens is that if you're not getting enough time, I may do a topic today, and 5 days down the line, if I'm not able to practice that particular topic, I've forgotten it.
Wow.
And I have to rewatch the videos. And that was getting slightly tiring, because by the end of it I knew that I've watched these videos 3 or 4 times. Like I remember the videos now, like they're there in my head. But yeah, I feel like taking some time off really helped. And like that's what I've been recommending, like other people approach start approaching you when the word is out that you've gotten like a decent score. So yeah,
Yeah.
whenever someone's approaching me, I'm just trying to explain that why taking some time off is very important. I know it's very difficult to get that, but like it's very important to just zone off from other things and concentrate on one thing so that you're able to like do get done with it and then go back to your life.
Right. So one of the things that you said earlier is that you look back at your previous preparation and you're like, what was I thinking then? So what was that moment of realization? What was the breakthrough moment during your preparation when everything at this point
Hmm.
to be falling in place? And what is it that did not work in the first? Because we would like you to go through the entire thing in the way it is so that you
Hmm.
get through it in the first attempt. But what
Right.
happened there that you did
Hmm.
not follow through, and what was the realization that you had?
I think one of the things was that I think one was not giving enough mocks for sure. Like I was giving I gave a few top one portal mocks, and I gave a few mocks that were there out there, like the free resources. But one thing that I also realized was your own research matters a lot. Like this time around, I also watched a lot of videos that you guys do, I think, with people who've already given their GMAT. That the strategies that they follow. So I started watching those, and I feel like that helped a lot. Like I watched all of them that used to come. Like Sandeep sir started posting them on LinkedIn, and I started watching them. Like I would watch one every 3 to 4 days, and I would see what strategies people followed. So again, as I mentioned, that one video had mentioned, like the guy said that you should do the DI portal twice. You shouldn't lose out on that, even if it takes 1 week longer. Do that. So I planned my exam in such a way that I was able to keep some time and do the DI portal twice,
Yeah.
because I knew that I was weaker in that part. Then another video, the guy had this strategy where he said that you should give sectionals, you should give a lot of sectionals. So I started doing that. I started giving a lot of sectionals. So yeah, I think I picked up bits and pieces from these videos, and saw where I was lacking and where these people were lacking as well. And I picked up bits and pieces of how they were doing it, and I started implementing them in my own prep strategy. And I think that really helped a lot. I think the changing point was again when I was giving these official mocks. And I didn't know a lot of things last time. I didn't know that if you don't mark a question, the penalty is higher as compared to marking it incorrectly. Like these were all things that I was not aware of. So I realized how less researched and how less prepared I was last time. And I realized these things as in when I saw these videos, did my own YouTube research, heard what Sandeep sir was saying properly. And so yeah, I think that's when I realized that I was just not in my right headspace when I gave that exam. And this time, when I was giving my mocks, like when I was scoring, I was sure that I'm going to score well. I was in that right headspace, that this time around I'm going to do well. And I feel like that confidence also sort of reflected in the score.
Yeah, one of the things that we are doing right now is taking this initiatives of having this conversation with
Hmm.
students who've done it, because we say it and sometimes people say they all know it all, but then
Hmm.
sometimes having this conversation can help them place that this is my situation, this is exactly what I'm going through. It's not
Yeah.
for us to show, look, we've got results. No, it's
Hmm.
for our students to know that
Hmm.
you're stuck here and
Hmm.
this may really help you.
Yeah.
And good that you shared, because this is what we want our students at the end to see. It's not
Hmm.
possible always when you probably get into the next phase of your life. It can be
Hmm.
super, you're super busy. Like there'll be no time to engage in such conversation. Even the will is there to help the student. You may not have that time. And these videos
Yeah.
can really come handy at any given point in time in their conversation. And that's what we are here for. And thank you for being that. I mean, invariantly, you are a source, you're going to be a source of encouragement and
Hmm.
inspiration for other students who are going to be preparing. Now, what was your support and encouragement? What
Yeah.
kept you motivated and grounded to be doing this till you finally get a score?
I think so. Initially, I did feel a little low in my prep time, and I don't think I mentioned this earlier, and I think it's important for people to know. But 15 days before my this attempt in which I got 675, I got a 595, and
Right.
this is after I was getting a 700 plus in mocks, and it was so shocking. Like I went into a sudden shock when I saw that score on my screen, and I was just like, I was in a different low altogether. And then I came back home, and I don't know how I've reached home by this point and I've just come home, and I'm just thinking as to what just happened with me. This is the lowest that I've scored. Like, I'm not even scoring it now. When I was prepping and when I was giving my first mock score was higher than this, and I was feeling so low. And at that time I started researching what is a plan B. Like, if I don't get a score till this time, I wasn't even thinking if I should have a plan B. And I just started researching, and then I thought that no, like, this is not what I want to do. I know if I've scored in mocks, there is no way, and it might be that it's just not my day, and there is no way that I can't get this score in my like GMAT. It's okay. Even though, like, I've not scored well today, you know what, I'm gonna like book it again. And I didn't talk to anyone, I didn't do anything, I just booked another attempt. I knew that we have to keep a 16-day gap between two attempts. So whatever I was getting after those 16 days, I just booked it off, and I was like, you know what, like, let's get down to this, because there is no plan B. This is the plan. And if I'm not doing GMAT, then I don't want to do anything else. Then I'm not going to do an MBA. I have to do MBA. I have to do it from a good college, because I know that I deserve it, and I know I've put in the effort. So why not? Like, it's okay. Everyone can have bad days, and if I can score well in a mock, then why not in the actual exam? So I feel like that score in mocks gave me that confidence. And like, I just didn't like the plan B. I just knew that plan A is the plan for me, and I think that really helped. Like, my mom was also shocked that she also kept saying that, I think we should think of a plan B. I think you should look at other options, and you should see for a distant MBA or whatever. And I was like, you know what, no, I have to do the actual MBA. I have to, like, this, I'm doing it for myself. I'm not doing it just to get the name tag that I have an MBA. So I want to go through the experience, and I want to network with people, and I want to just have that whole thing. I want the whole package, not just like a plan B.
It just gives me goosebumps when you say that, there is no plan B, right? That's what Sandeep says. Sir
Yeah.
says, and he tells, and sometimes it could be aspirational when he says it, but
Hmm.
do it in
Definitely.
real, right? It is like, wow, because he says two things, whatever it takes, right? And the second
Exactly.
thing he
And
says,
yeah,
and the second thing he says is that you have to look at it like you're given a death sentence. So you
yeah,
can't be like, okay, what is my, it's a death sentence. There is no escape to it. So whatever it takes is
exactly. Yeah. And I feel like that, even like, we probably don't realize it, when we think of these things or when we're prepping. But I feel like his words, even though harsh at times, I'm not gonna lie, even though harsh and very direct at times, I feel like they have a huge impact on how you think. Like, the very fact that he kept sending us those WhatsApp videos also, and those videos that we get on Gmail, and the sessions that he had, I attended all of those this time.
Right.
And just the fact that he kept repeating that, it's just about consistency and you have to give it whatever it takes. And just the fact that he kept saying it, I think, that changes your perspective as well. That, this is how I have to look at it, and I cannot give up. Like, he kept saying that you cannot give up. Like, even if you don't score well, it's okay, practice more, do this, do that, and you will get a score. Your hard work will pay off. And I think that really creates a shift in your own
Because it's
mindset.
very, very easy to give up, to be honest. It's very easy to give up and be succumb to the situation
Hmm.
that the life takes you and whatever is given. For you to make that difference, you have to struggle. That competition edge is the key. And trust me, when you come out of it and what you experience, you'd be like, all that is worth it. What you're
Yeah.
looking at is that you want to experience that network, you want to experience that it is nothing like it. I mean, I
Yeah.
can vouch you for, maybe we can connect later, but the experience that we get to experience in any of the college, any of the program, especially MBA when you have 1 year, 2 years, is
Hmm.
just nothing like it. Nothing can be replaced. And when you look back at what you've done the first leg, it's just
Hmm.
worth it. It's taken
Hmm.
long, but it's just worth it. So
Hmm.
with this, I want to probably end the last question asking, what is Akshita's advice corner now that you're on the other side and you're now giving the advices to students? What is that one thing that you would say to students, to do in the preparation or otherwise, and the thing that they should not do?
Um, I think what should be done is, again, as I mentioned earlier, also, I feel like that time off from other things really helped. I feel like it's not advisable to, have everything going for you. Like, you can't manage your professional career, your social life, and GMAT all together. I feel like it's very important to take it one thing at a time. And doing that really helped me. And in that phase where you're just focusing on GMAT, even if it's just for a week, just getting into that headspace before your exam is very important. And in that 1 week, just giving sectionals, if even if you're not giving full length mocks, because it can be tiring and time taking, just giving sectionals and deeply analyzing each and every test that you take. And the error log, yeah, the error log is very helpful, like the way Sandeep asked us to maintain it. So yeah, the error log, and deeply analyzing each and every sectional, and again taking some time off from other things that are going on in your life, and just focusing on GMAT really really helps. And again, yeah, something not to do is just trying to manage everything, and all spheres of life cannot be focused on together. So if someone is struggling like me, I'm sure there are people out there who are able to do it, who are extra intelligent and who are able to manage everything together. But if someone is struggling with this, and feels like they're not able to get through, maybe I would sincerely advise that taking time off other things, of your friends, of your work, and of any other societal pressure that you might have, and just focus on yourself. Give yourself a month, 10 days, 15 days, whatever you can, and just giving it your all.
Thank you so much for sharing these insights. I'm sure that there'll be dozens of people who would be very inspired by many more than that. But most of all, thank you for trusting Sandeep, sir. I mean, this has definitely been a very hard journey, I could say. And you have trusted time and again in what he has to say, and you followed it through. That really validates what sir is also doing. And he, even if he's not saying it right now, I'm saying it, probably I'm going to be saying on his behalf, that thanks, he's a teacher at heart, so he can come out, you know really pushing you, motivating you through hard words, through nice words, whatever it is. But he is definitely going to be proud of, he is proud of what you've scored, and he'll be proud when you get your admit. And we are all very thankful that you chose top 1%, as as this part of your preparation, as this leg of your preparation, because there is bigger things to come up. You're going to be looking at a bigger admit in the next 3 to 4 months, and we'll be there rooting for you and really cheering you loud. Hope that comes out very soon. And again, thanks again for joining me today, this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Natasha. It was great speaking to you.